Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Stelma98, and this is going to be the beginning of a series called How Does It Work? So, if you don't know me, I'm a speedrunner of this Sonic fan game called Project 06, made by Chaos X. Essentially a reimagining of Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. You can download it on the PC. It is currently in version 4.6. Where we have all of Sonic's and Shadow's campaigns. Now, there isn't really any official documentation, at least on YouTube, about how the mechanics, the more like complicated mechanics work. So I'm here to do just that. I don't know how long the series is going to be, but I'm going to be releasing, just to not have information overload. At the time of the release of this video, I'm going to be releasing several. Yeah, I know, Sonic, it's busy work. I gotta talk about it. I'm going to be releasing these videos in kind of small little chunks so that if there's a specific thing you want to look at for Sonic P06 or Project 06, whichever you want to call it, you're able to do that really easily. So the first thing I'm going to cover before we go into more of Sonic's and essentially all of the characters' more complicated actions, we got to talk about this thing here. So, in the bottom right here is what I'm going to refer to as the action bar, which the entire chunk of UI in the bottom right doesn't have an official name, so I'm just going to refer to it as the action bar in its entirety. The glowy meter that you see kind of blinking because it's full is considered the action gauge. That's the official name that's listed in Retail 06's manual. And the little other bar on the bottom of it, on the bottom left, that is what I'm going to refer to as the maturity meter, which will make more sense as we get further along in the series and talk about Sonic's gems and that kind of thing. And then the three little slashes to the right are actually called, which I didn't know, is called the level indicator. And then, of course, if you're using Sonic, whatever gem you're using shows up in the top right there. So that's the action bar. So, the action gauge, which is the glowy bar, part of the action bar that I referred to earlier, is essentially this game's like mana system. So if you ever played like an action RPG, you know that you have a mana bar. When you do special abilities, you use up some of that mana bar and then the mana regenerates. Because Sonic the Hedgehog is a fast-paced game, it makes sense that the regeneration period is very quick and the regeneration delay after you use the action is very short. But Chaos did a good job, I think, of balancing the abilities and kind of making it, you know, flow pretty well still without being too broken or overpowered. In Sonic's case, the action gauge is used up whenever you use one of his gem abilities. So, for example, I'm using the blue gem right here, and it gets used up. There's a short delay, and then it refills back up to full. Now, the action gauge is used for a variety of different things in Project 06, such as Tails' flight, Omega's hover, Silver's psychokinesis abilities, and Shadow's chaos boost abilities. Again, we'll go into more detail in all of those as the series goes on, specifically Sonic's gems, which we're using right here, and Shadow's chaos abilities, so be sure to stay tuned for those. So that's basically the action gauge. Moving on from the action gauge, we have the maturity meter. Now, only Sonic and Shadow, as of the current demo, which is Project 06 version 4.6, I guess I could call it like that, use the maturity meter. When you defeat enemies, if the enemies are mechanical, like these Eggman robots, when you defeat them, you'll see a blue Chaos Drive fly into your character. Now, this happens for all characters. It's not essential for some of them, like Knuckles and Rouge, because they don't have the ability to use the action bar. But for Sonic, obviously, he's main character, he's got more complicated moves and that kind of thing, so it makes sense for him to have it. So when the action gate, or when the Chaos Drives fly in to your character, you can see that for Sonic, and this also applies for Shadow, he fills up a little bit of the maturity meter. Now, for Sonic's gems, which I'll talk about more when we actually talk about the gems, he needs to defeat pretty much 3 enemies. So 1, and then 2, and you'll see the bar is 2/3 of the way full, and let's find another enemy here. Last enemy, level 3 there, you'll see that the meter completely fills up and the second hash mark fills up on our level indicator, which is wonderful. So, you know, you defeat another 3 enemies, you'll go up to level 3 as well. Level 3 is the max in Sonic's case, at least. So that's basically what the maturity meter does. It's just an indicator for how long you have until you reach the next level of your special abilities. So that's pretty much the action bar in its entirety. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you very soon for the next one. Take care.